fuck?
You must really like Halloween.
You mean Samhain?
What?
Samhain, also known as All Hallows Eve, also known as Halloween. Predating Christianity, the Celtic holiday was celebrated on the one night between autumn and winter when the barrier between the living and the dead was thinnest, and often involved rituals that included human sacrifice. I like your eye patch.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
That O is very important.
Third cousin removed that was married to the second sister in West Virginia. I've always known that you had no soul.
Stick that in there somehow. Or take that out of context. Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheap Seat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
This is episode 360. I'm sorry, I'm just completely thrown off there. Just it, Sam? Really? Nothing? It's a Halloween movie. Just really?
I know. I was so bored. I didn't think of my brain kind of turned itself off and hasn't turned itself back on.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Here we go. We're off to a good start.
The greater good.
The greater good. The greater good or something. Oh, you could do it like Brian.
There wasn't really any kind of voice or any kind of weird thing in this. You know, maybe I could breathe really hard or act like I've got asthma, and that's about the only thing that I could think of, right?
No, that's fair. No,
just like Cree breathing heavily.
Yeah. I could roll
don't
around a really squeaky wagon and say for the greater good, but that's about it.
I think the heavy breathing thing would probably turn some people off the show. They might be like, "Oh no, I don't think I'll."
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop. Okay. So the greater good. That's it. This is the show for the greater good. This is episode 360. 360. And today we're talking about Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. Like Toys R Us.
And not the original one, right? We're doing the new one.
Oh, there's an original? Wait.
There's another Trick or Treat movie with Ozzy Osbourne. I believe it was.
What the what?
Like an old one.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
That one is Trick or Treat. This was Trick or Treat. Yeah. Take out
so that O is very important.
It is very important. All right. The O is very important.
All right. So, but everybody watched the right?
The
Yes, I did. Yeah, the R. Yes.
Okay.
R. Yeah. Yeah. I kept doing R too. I was talking like a pirate earlier today for that same joke. All right.
Nice.
So I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew. Killing people. I'm going to start over. Andrew, killing people with toy vampire teeth seems difficult, Jimison.
Well, but I can kill peepers with those toy vampire teeth.
Yeah.
If I only liked Peeps.
Yeah.
They're the worst candy ever invented.
I'm so glad to hear someone else say that. I don't like them.
I like Peeps. I love them.
I'm
sorry, I do.
Would.
No, here's the thing.
Have you ever had wait. Have you ever gone camping and had a s'more used a Peeps for the marshmallow?
God, no.
Why would you destroy a s'more?
Wow. It is so good. It is so good.
Could you just roll a marshmallow in sugar and be the same thing?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean it creates.
It's not sugar though. It's some sort of chemically flavored. It tastes like you're licking batteries.
I don't think it's that bad, but I'm not that far off. It's so funny. So my father-in-law, he loves Peeps, right? Like that's his big treat. But what he likes to do is he'll open the package and then just set them aside for 4 days.
Does it get them all hard?
He likes the crunch. He wants them to be downright crunchy. That's like his thing.
That's so weird. I've never tried them like that. I might have to try that.
Yeah, he wants them one step away from breaking dental work. Like that's what he likes to. And that's the joke he says too. So I'm not like attributing that to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe you could like get a Halloween version, put it on a stick, and then after you take a bite of it, you could kill somebody with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the popsicle. Sam.
What?
How many kids did that principal kill that night, Vector?
And you know what? I'm a little disappointed because Andrew completely stole my thunder, because I was so going to take a piece of hard candy and bite it down and lick it down till it had a very fine edge, and then slowly cut off your head with it.
Okay.
So
that's how people in prison ended up stabbing people with like Jolly Ranchers and stuff. That's why they don't allow them to have hard candy. Yeah, that's like a real thing.
Is it really? Wow.
Can't have.
Yeah.
Jolly
Well, no, I
Rancher
can imagine. Have you ever had a candy cane?
Or in middle school,
right? And you suck on the end of the candy cane and it makes a dagger, and then you accidentally pierce your tongue on it.
Oh yeah,
I've done that before. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, it'll cause you to bleed. Now, did this piece of candy in this movie look like it would be sharp enough? No. But we'll go there.
No, I mean it looked like it would break like actual candy would, but anyway,
yeah,
it's fine.
And, it's a horror movie.
And joining us, making his Cheapseat Reviews debut, and he is a legitimate filmmaker, and I encourage him to drop as many names as possible while recording this episode. Matt feels the most sympathy for the camera crew, Kiser.
That is correct. Yes.
So, what, Matt, would there be blood splatter on the crew in some of these scenes, you think?
Oh no, sometimes like before I worked on crew, like I worked at like rental warehouses with like the grip and electric gear, and we would get like rags, flags, and like some stuff back, and there would be like legit blood splatter on them.
So, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me when I was filming pornos.
You're there.
I don't even want to know.
So Sam, I have to jump in here. So the Western that we did, that I filmed, where I was boom operator, the hero.
Did you work with horses?
We did work with horses, and this is where the joke is going to come in.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, when you work with horses. Well, let me ask you, Matt. Matt, when you work with horses, where do you put the boom?
I've yet to work with a horse, so I do not know.
Oh wow!
When we did a Western up in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. We actually filmed at the Ghost Town theme park up there. If anyone's listening that knows what that is, we filmed a Western there. And I was told by the animal wrangler. You know how if you've worked on a set with an animal, you have an animal wrangler there. They're basically there to make sure that you don't abuse the animal. And she told me that if you're gonna use the boom mic, you do it low when you're near a horse, because horses don't like things flying over their heads. And so that's a story I told 400 episodes ago on this podcast, and ever since then, Sam just loves to bring up boom under the horse.
It's important to know we got to know where we're going with that.
Hey, by now we've really saved somebody's career that's been booming a Western. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all those Western boom operators.
Yeah.
Mostly Italian crews, if I remember right.
Legit, Sam, legit. That boom under the horse came on episode 15. Days of Thunder, episode 15, Days of Thunder.
Why did we talk about it on Days of Thunder? What horses were in that movie?
I don't know. Somehow I brought up that I worked on a movie with Boom Under the Horse is April 26th, 2014.
Big teeth. Maybe that's what it was.
He's got that one tooth right under his nose that isn't centered.
Yeah, you're right. It's not big teeth.
No, it is centered. Yeah, big tooth. So, yeah.
Anyway, enough of shaming. But no, back to so we were filming this thing, and so one of the characters gets shotgunned, like a full shotgun blast, and so they put 4 of those squib packs on her back, so that when it blew out, it would actually hit the camera, and it got all over my jacket. So I mean, for the rest of the movie, I constantly had like blood splatter all over my jacket. It was just whatever, it's fine. So, and it does not wash out.
No, yeah, I heard like on Evil Dead, the first one with Bruce Campbell, like he would be like acting and doing crew, because it's like one of the epitomes of indie films, and on the ride back to it from set, he'll ride in the back of the truck so blood doesn't get in the truck.
In the truck,
it's covered in blood, chili. People passing by.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Imagine going to like the local restaurant and he's covered in all that stuff, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" Anyway, so this is a movie, 2007's Trick or Treat, starring a bunch of people. This isn't really doesn't really have a lead. This just stars people like Anna Paquin and Brian Cox and Dylan Baker and a bunch of other people that I don't know.
Okay.
Leslie Bibb, she's also in it too. So Leslie Bibb. And
Leslie Bibb. Which one was she?
She's the blonde at the very beginning of the movie. She's the first death.
Okay.
She, I only know her because she's in Iron Man. She's the girl that Tony sleeps with at the beginning of Iron Man.
Okay, the reporter.
She's also in Talladega Nights.
Yes.
Right, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Also filmed in North Carolina. So so she's in some stuff. So good for her. And Brian Cox is in. I know him mostly from. He's in the Bourne Identity, couple of those movies, and he's great. And Anna Paquin, of course, is our
X-Men.
She's I forgot. Brian Cox is also an X-Men. He's an X-Men too. And and Anna Paquin is also an X-Men. So there's a lot of Marvel connections in this movie.
Yeah, probably most because of Bryan Singer, who helped produce Trick or Treat, because he directed the original X-Men movies from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Dylan Baker, who was the Principal Stephen, who was also, I thought he's in.
We could have almost done, we're going to do a different top 3, but I swear he's been in so many movies that you probably don't realize it until you look at his work set list or whatever you call it.
Yeah, his IMDb listing is pretty impressive. He's 142 credits.
Right.
Yeah. He's not necessarily a character actor, but he was like a very amazing supporting actor.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
He's got the face, right? He
does have an interesting. I forgot. Yeah, he's in the original Spider-Man trilogy as Dr. Kurt Connors. He was supposed to be the Lizard, but that trilogy got cut before they made that, because they were going to make it in the 4th movie. He was going to be Lizard Man.
Maybe he'll come back.
Maybe this multiverse,
Yeah,
because the way I think of him, like, and this is no disrespect to Dylan Baker, I think he's an amazing actor, but I think of him as like the off-brand Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Maybe not this movie, but I can see that.
Yeah.
He's
this movie, he was just weird.
He's our West Wing connection, Sam. So
what was he in West Wing?
He played one. He was an admiral in one episode of it. So
okay,
I'm just looking at his IMDb credits here. Oh my God, the cat's in here with me. She just scared the shit out of me. Jeez. Okay. Sam, give us your 5-word review while I get up and let the cat out of the room.
All right, I've got 2 of them today, and my first one is Big Empty Candy Bucket. Right. Which goes into my second one, which is a mismatch of mediocre ideas. And if I had to give a basic review for this, is not that I didn't enjoy it. I had fun in parts. I thought it was interesting, but it just never hit that, oh, that is cool, or oh, that's a neat idea, or it was never scary to me. I don't know if it's supposed to be scary. I didn't know if it was supposed to be a comedy. I didn't know the tone, exactly what it was going to be throughout this. And I didn't have a real good time because I kept expecting something to happen that never happened. And that's kind of just my general complaint for this one. It's not that it's completely bad. It's just that it never hits any kind of stride to make it stand out from other horror movies of this type of movie that I thought it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't.
So that's kind of where I'm coming from on this one. It's usually we save these things for October, and it wasn't like I was not in the mood for a horror movie, but it was just along the lines of, it felt like an FX special or something you'd see on a cable television movie night. It just maybe looked a little better than that. Well, and by the way, the kid with the little Sandman hat or whatever it was, I don't even know what it's called. He looked like Scarecrow from Batman, but like as a kid.
Yeah, right.
Before he grew up.
Yeah, the character design, it was bad. When he finally got the little mask ripped off, I was expecting to be scared of what was underneath. Mm-hmm. And maybe if they didn't show us, or maybe if it was still in shadow, it would have been better. It just, I thought it was kitty-ish when the reveal finally happened.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really honestly disagree too much. I will say this. Oh my gosh, they're making a second one. Nice. I just saw that. They're making a second one. So this movie was supposed to be in theaters, and it had there was a delay, and then it was actually going to be going up against, I can't remember if I put that in the trivia or not. No. So this was going to be released in 2016, but it was when they announced it, like literally like the next week, Saw announced it was going to be that same weekend.
Oh.
And they're like, well, we can't compete with that. And so then they pushed it, and then something else happened, and then they pushed it, and then it got pushed again, so they just went straight to DVD.
Mm-hmm. Here is one thing I will say about this movie. I think I would have had a lot more fun had I watched it with friends in the same room. Because I think this is one of those movies where we can laugh together at what's happening, or be like, holy crap, did you see? Or it's not that we all get scared together, but we all make fun of the principal, or we all laugh at the Dracula wolf scene. It's just, I think this is a group movie. I think this is something to watch with friends and have a good drinking party. Every time there's a trope, you take a shot. So I think that's what this movie is for.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. So you hadn't seen this before, right, Sam?
No, this is my first time.
Andrew, had you seen this before?
First time.
So I had seen it once, and Matt, obviously you picked it, so you've seen this several times. This is like a little guilty pleasure for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry if we kind of poop on your film a little bit.
We don't mean to poop on it or anything.
No, I'm legitimately curious about it, and when it comes to me, I'm not going to try to defend it or argue anything, but I again, like, especially when it comes to horror, it is subjective light comedy, because jokes are like scares. Yeah. There's a setup and a payoff, and so I'm always curious. Like, when people ask me, "Is this movie scary?" I'm like, "Well, that depends on you." Just like if I would find a movie funny, if I didn't find a movie funny, but they did, I think it's the same thing to horror. So I'm always curious what people think when it comes to horror movies.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also full disclosure, the three of us are kind of wusses when it comes to horror films. I mean, we joke that every October we only choose one real legit kind of scary movie because we couldn't handle 4 weeks of it.
Yeah. Right.
And
I have to admit, for another podcast, I watched Halloween, the original, before this movie. So I had that in my brain, and then I watched this, and the tones between the two are completely two separate things.
Oh, for sure. Definitely for the tones, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some Halloween homages or tributes, if you will. In this
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and again, I'm Sam and I and Andrew, if Andrew is able to participate, we're guesting on another podcast, and we're doing Halloween, the original 1978 Halloween, and then I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a sequel. It's just the next one, but it's the 2018 Halloween.
Technically, they, according to canon now, is a direct sequel to the first one, because they just ignored everything else in between.
Which
really? I love how we're doing that now. It's just like, you know what? Yeah. We made 13 others. Forget all of those.
Yeah, because the mythology of Michael Myers in the fandom is just all over the place.
Yeah. Well, because I watched.
I've definitely got questions.
Yeah, so. And I watched both of them back to back. I watched the first one and then the 2018, and I'm not a huge fan of the genre, and I'm not a huge fan of Michael Myers itself, and so I was confused because there's a line in the movie, spoiler if you haven't seen the 2018 one, but there's a line where she says, he killed 5 people Halloween night and he's been locked up ever since. And I thought, wait, what? There's like 13 other movies. Like, doesn't he get out a bunch of times? Like, what happened to...
He wasn't locked up, though. He disappeared.
Well, see, the thing is, Sam, that what you haven't seen, and I have, is the direct sequel, Halloween 2, is literally 5 minutes later that night. Halloween 2 is truly a direct sequel. Halloween 1 and 2 should be one movie, really.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to get in trouble for this. If you took about 40 minutes out of the first Halloween movie of useless, let's build up that these girls are teenagers and that their lives are difficult. If you cut out 40 minutes of that stuff, then you could make the first Halloween movie and the second Halloween movie one long, scary movie.
Interesting.
So
fun fact about it, the original title was called The Babysitter Murders, but then they changed it to Halloween, and then after they did that one, obviously it exceeded expectations, and they approached John Carpenter saying, we want you to make a sequel. It was like, that was it. He didn't have a plan for a sequel. And that's why 3, Season of the Witch, they thought using the title Halloween and the subtitle doing an anthology series. But then when 3 came out, no Michael Myers, people were pissed. So that's when they went back to Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is weird because I hear people say that 3 is their favorite. I hear people.
3 is a good, like, legit, like, Halloween festive, like, movie. It's actually good on its own. If you just forget about Michael Myers in and of itself, it's actually not that bad.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it gives a great performance in it.
So anyway, Andrew, do you have a 5-word review?
Well, yes, I do, Sean. But do you want to know what movie we're talking about and what it's about?
Amazing. Literally before the podcast, I'm like, hey, Andrew, I don't think I told you to do the read last 2 weeks. He goes, no, you didn't. And I was ready. And I said, well, tonight, just feel free if I forget you to say something. He goes, well, I don't want to interrupt.
I think I know what you might say if I counted it right. Yeah.
Please, Andrew, tell us what this movie is about. What is Trick or Treat about? Is it about pirates?
Well, yeah, it is. VeggieTale pirates.
Oh, okay.
No, this is a story of 5 interwoven stories that occur on Halloween. An everyday high school principal has a secret life as a serial killer. A college virgin might have just met the guy for her. A group of teenagers pull a mean prank. That's kind of vague. A woman who loathes the Halloween evening has to contend with her holiday-obsessed husband. And a mean old man meets his match with a demonic, supernatural trick-or-treater.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's actually
that's one way to describe the anthology type movie.
Yeah. But to go on to my 5-word review, I actually have a couple tonight. Number 1, karma's a bitch. Number two, being in the NRA could have its perks. And then number three, now I see how the big bad wolf fooled Red Riding Hood. Because I've always wondered, how could she not tell that was a wolf? But I get it now.
Yeah.
Werewolves have skin suits.
Yeah.
That apparently are able to be put back on pretty easily.
I guess so. Even though they like rip them and tear them off, they can. I don't know.
See,
weird.
The first time I saw that, I thought, I guess they're going to be werewolves for forever. And then we see them later in the movie back as girls, and I thought, okay, I guess they're. But then now that I think about it, I don't know if the timeline is right. If that part that we see them in the car is before or later.
How did they get the skin back on? Because I mean, did they have to butter the inside to get it all greased up? And, are there zippers on those suits?
Hey, baby, let me butter your skin suit.
I honestly thought the second time watching it, I thought that they're like it's their it's like their camouflage. Like they can be as the pretty girl, right? And then they transform into the wolves and they rip the skin off. But then when they need to go back, they just go back. Like it just grows back to normal girl thing. So there's still all this dead skin.
Kind of How a snake would just shed its skin.
Yeah. If you went back to the woods, there'd be there'd be bones and blood and just skin suits of these girls everywhere. And Buffalo Bill would have a good time.
Werewolves are reptiles, is that what we're getting at?
I mean, why not? I don't know.
Well, I don't really agree with Sam.
Oh.
I actually kind of like this movie. I don't know if I was just in the right mood. Yeah. I was cooking dinner, and as I was cooking a nice dinner for myself tonight, maybe it was the food making me feel good, but I really had a ball watching this, and I love the way the story's told. Like, I love this circular way of storytelling that we kind of start at the end and then we make our way back around. I love that. And we've seen that in other films before, but this, I thought, did it actually pretty well. And we not only do we get to experience that, but we get to experience it from different perspectives, which is kind of cool. There's a movie called Vantage Point with one of the Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Yeah, it's a neat movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's kind of done the same way. And I like this kind of storytelling. And yeah, I mean, there was some moments where I was kind of rolling my eyes, but I think maybe this movie kind of lends itself to that in some aspects. I was laughing as I don't think I was supposed to, but I was laughing as the principal was beating this kid with a shovel in the ground.
I think you're supposed to laugh. I think it's supposed to be a comedic moment.
Yeah. No, that is, I have to, one thing I'll agree with you, Andrew, is that this movie didn't take itself as seriously as, as the Halloween I watched right before it, right? It was certainly more lighthearted than.
But I don't feel like it went the way of a spoof, like Scary Movie,
Oh yeah, no,
which I appreciate.
It's not a parody. Like it's trying to be a kind of a real, kind of scary thing. But, yeah, but like you said, not take itself too seriously. That's a good way to put it.
And there were moments that if I didn't have my big boy pants on today, it probably would have bothered me back when I was a middle schooler or something like that. But I mean, I didn't find anything really scary. But there were some things. The one time that I was like, "Oh my God," was the moment when he's walking down to the basement with his son, the principal, and he's got this knife behind his back, and you don't see anything that happened, and you see him stab, and you think that he's just killed his son.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, "That's effed up," and and then you see that they're carving, but it's not a pumpkin; it's the kid's head that just vomited buckets on the porch. And then I'm like, oh my God, this kid is effed up just as much as the dad.
Yeah. You have to help me with the eyes. And then that's what made me think, because the joke is like, you think that it's that little ginger boy in the grave that he's fighting with, and then when you get downstairs and realize that that's the head of the ginger boy, then that means that there's another kid that he's kidnapped and thrown in the grave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right. So Matt, do you have a 5-word review?
I do. I got 2, but one's actually 4.
That's fine.
The 4-word one is for me personally a modern Halloween holiday classic. And then the second one is full of tricks and treats.
Nice.
Wow.
It sure is.
Am I the only one that didn't like this movie? Or that didn't...
I haven't gone yet, Sam.
Appreciate it? Okay, all right. Well, we're not supposed to agree, Sean.
Oh.
You and I are supposed to butt heads. So.
Are we? Is that in the contract for the podcast?
That's our roles. I signed a contract that said it.
Okay.
Well, no. Again, for me, as Sean mentioned, this movie is a guilty pleasure of mine. And I remember when I was in high school, I seen the trailer on YouTube, and I just immediately fell in love because I love Halloween horror, grew up on it and everything. So I'm a sucker for it, love it. And I'm not very judgmental when it comes to horror, no matter how good or bad. But yeah, I'm seeing this one and just how festive it is with the holiday and bringing the spirit out of Halloween into this movie. and then like you said, like it never. I was waiting for the theatrical release, waiting, and then back when in little town Yackenville, there's a little video store called Action Video. Went there and there was on the shelf. I'm like, shit, I did not know it came out. you know. And so I immediately rented it, and I watched it like twice in one night, and I fell in love. And yeah, for an anthology film, it flows so smoothly, and like the more you watch it, the more little things you notice. Like for example, in the beginning, when Leslie Bibb's character is like looking around and stuff, I believe in one moment you actually see the school bus children walking down the sidewalk to Mr. Krieg's house. And catch little things like that throughout the movie is like this purposely set there, and especially like if you didn't know about the werewolves, like all the jokes in the dressing room, like we had really bad Mexican, had nice ass, but they all taste the same to me, and like little things like that to where it's just beautifully crafted on a filmmaking level. And just all the homages and the cliches of the Halloween, like the kids walking past the pumpkin patch of the quarry, and everything. And then what's interesting about this though is Michael Daughtry graduated from the school of NYU, and his senior thesis, and this is back in '96, he did an animated short called Season's Greetings, and that's when he first created Sam. It's on YouTube. It's like a 3+ minute short, because his story is like he grew up loving Halloween and stuff, but he realized that Halloween didn't have like an icon. Christmas has Santa, Easter Bunny, leprechauns, Uncle Sam, 4th of July and stuff, but Halloween just had this motley crew of just monsters. So he kind of created Sam not to hope it became like a international icon, but like him being this guardian of the holiday. Like people respect the rules of this holiday. For example, the candles, the candy, the costumes, so on and so forth. And so that's kind of where Sam came from, in general. And now it's become more of a cult classic, more widely known, I would say. Especially like if you go to a Spirit Halloween store this year, you'll see a bunch of trick or treat merchandise right next to Nightmare Before Christmas or Hocus Pocus now. And so Sam has become more of a recognizable figure in the horror genre, especially in the next couple of months. But yeah, I thought, overall, yes, the stories are kind of cliche and vague, and what he's kind of going for, I think, is trying to bring that childlike, almost like we watch, Christmas time, get that childlike wonder. I think he was trying to do that with this movie, to where he didn't want to do the cliches of this grimy, gritty look. He wanted to make the colors pop. The autumn leaves, the orange pumpkins, and that blue moonlight you get from old 80s movies. And the humor, yeah, I would say it's definitely a horror comedy. And you do question yourself, like, should I laugh at this part? Because it is disturbing, but at the same time, it's some people's defense mechanism watching a horror movie is laughing, because they want to feel okay. They want to know this is not real. It's all right. And I feel like for that, it's almost like a dark horror sense of humor, to where, yeah, it's messed up, stabbing a kid in the head or whatever. But yeah, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I watch it every year on Halloween, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on, man. So my 5-word review. I only did the one, and that's usually because I'm not clever enough to come up with more than one, nor usually do I have the brain power to come up with your middle names and multiple 5-word reviews. So, simply clever, overboard, off-screen killing. So no one dies on camera in this movie, which is really, I think, kind of clever.
Yeah.
I also really think I like the storytelling style is really clever. I like that we get multiple point of views almost of every story. Not every story, but we get to see the point of view of the guy, the principal burying the bodies, and then we go into the other backyard where we get to have the scene where he's yelling at the dog and the dog's eating the finger and all that stuff. And then, so I love the kind of how it's an intertwined story. I think that's clever. Now, with that having been said, my origin story with this movie is my mother-in-law, since my kids were born, will come down on Halloween to visit because she loves Halloween, and she also loves, she likes passing out candy and doing that part of the experience, so that me and my family, we can go and do the neighborhood, and while someone is at the house, doing the candy. So every time she comes down, we always watch a Halloween type movie, and usually it's like The Nightmare Before Christmas or Hocus Pocus and stuff like that. And so one year she says, "I brought this," and I said, "What is this?" And she said, "I have no idea," but she bought it. I mean, I own this on DVD downstairs right now. She gave it to me. We're gonna watch this. So we sat down to watch it. Well, they walked out of the room. My wife and mother-in-law. They were just kind of in and out. And I'm watching this thing, and I didn't understand until probably 2/3 of the way of the movie that this is supposed to be funny. I thought this was going to be a legit horror film, and because the tone is set pretty early when Leslie Bibb gets killed, and then the principal kills a child, which I was not ready for, emotionally speaking. I was not ready for a principal to kill a kid. And I think from
that just goes to show you haven't worked in a school long enough.
You're right. I haven't. I work at a community college. I figured we were going to get some kind of jokes there. So I'll fully admit, I hated this movie when I watched it. I did not have fun with it. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. I hated this movie. Really hated it. So when I'm chatting with Andrew,
you also came into this thing kicking and screaming.
I kind of did.
You were like, "I really want to do something else. I really want to do something else."
I really did. When Andrew said, I said, "Hey Andrew, what movie does Matt want to do?" He says, Andrew responds, "Either Trick or Treat or Dawn of the Dead." And I said, "Anything but Trick or Treat." And
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn. I said, "Yes, definitely. Let's do From Dusk Till Dawn." And then Andrew comes back with, he really wants to do Trick or Treat. I'm like, son of a... So I really didn't want to watch this movie again. And then you add that to the fact that I was going to have to watch 2 Halloween movies, all within, 36 hours of each other, right? So I'm watching this movie this time, and now I'm kind of getting some of this, like, okay, now I get it. I kind of appreciate it a little bit more. So I guess what I'm really saying is, like, I'm somewhere between Sam and Andrew. I don't love this movie, and frankly, I'm good if I never watch it again. But I don't hate it. It's just not my bag. And I guess what I'm a little annoyed at by the movie, by Sam specifically, Sam the character, not Sam you, Sam.
Oh, you're always annoyed.
I usually am annoyed with you, but for different reasons. Is that it feels like his selection, like your crimes against Halloween, like it could be a misdemeanor. Like in my opinion, Leslie Bibb's crime is just blowing out a candle, is not murderous level.
She was warned.
Yeah.
I mean, I know her husband, who we've seen. He was on Battlestar Galactica for all those years. But he was like, no, you should. But I mean, okay, first of all, what psycho does as much, like, she hates Halloween, right? She says, I hate Halloween, right? So, but their yard was the most Halloween I have ever seen out. Like, obviously it's a film, so they, but I've never seen a house like that ever in my life. And it was just ridiculous. And I thought, gosh, she really does a lot for her. Like, I don't know, it just seemed ridiculous. But then the idea that she would clean it up that night.
Oh my God.
When she tells her husband to go put on the tape, right? Which we find out later it's a porn, right? He's in there getting ready, watching porn by himself. I thought, does she think that this cleanup is only going to take a couple minutes? Because at best, that's like a 4-hour job, right?
Yeah. There are those people though that like day after Christmas, it all comes down.
Day after Christmas. I'm fine with day after Christmas. This is the equivalency of the presents are unwrapped. Let's take down the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, she couldn't wait till morning. I don't know. Anyway, her character sucked, but
I think maybe she was just trying to avoid what was about to happen in the bedroom.
Maybe you're right. Maybe she just didn't want to.
Like generally every wife.
But I just. I don't know. Just her character annoyed me just by the fact that she was like, "Mom's gonna come over in the morning and freak." Like, how have you guys been married for more than 5 minutes? Like, I don't understand.
An HOA kind of thing. Maybe they had to do it. I don't know.
I doubt it with that town. That town was jacked up. So, anyway, her character
jacked up.
I didn't mean that. But the fate of the principal, he totally deserved his fate, right? Totally,
absolutely,
totally fine with his fate. And it almost kind of felt like Sam knew that was going to happen to him. You know, because it's like Sam knew you just killed a kid on Halloween. Like, you deserve to die. I'm not going to kill you, though. Instead, I'm just going to drag this cat around in my bag, and I'm going to... I don't know if you guys caught that, but I did kind of chuckled at that. Just because I wasn't ready for the sound effect. The sound effect kind of caught me off guard.
Well, it's the same thing with the Kids Rock Chord, too. Like, they got their just desserts because they play, like, this horrible prank on someone who loves and respects Halloween, almost like a religion, you know.
Well, and not just that. Let's take it a step further. Let's not just pull a horrible prank on someone that loves Halloween. Let's pull a horrible prank on someone that, for all intents and purposes, is autistic. Right?
Yeah.
Let's add hate crime to this, you know?
Yeah.
I absolutely did not feel bad for the kids.
Not at all.
I did and didn't, right? It's like, yeah, you kind of deserved it, but I also didn't feel like death was
definitely deserved
a just punishment, but, you know, whatever, I didn't.
That's actually one of the moments to where, like you said, it's kind of where, like, you're glad they got what they deserve, but at the same time that, for me personally, that image of, like, her coming up and then walking away, you just hear their screams of death as they're being eaten alive in the background.
Yeah.
It's kind of, like, chilling, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound design for this movie is really good. That crunching sound that they use is just, it's like, someone's, like, chomping on some celery. It was gross.
I love the cinematography of this, honestly, too. Like, the certain shots and angles and everything. I don't know.
Yeah. It is a very well-made film. And again, you can kind of see the groundwork. I mean, this is 2007. This director or writer that you mentioned, this is a guy who would direct the Krampus a few years lager, which is a horror film. And then he does Godzilla King of the Monsters. I mean, he went from this to big budget blockbuster kind of thing. He's mostly known as a writer. He wrote the screenplay to X-Men 2, which is kind of makes sense with him and Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
He wrote Superman Returns, so maybe not the best.
Did y'all get the parallel, kind of like Mr. Krieg and, like, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
A little
like
bit.
how. Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting too, to where he's like the Scrooge, and then Sam kind of represents, like, the supernatural elements of you know, of all that and everything, and how he's come to, like, hey, if you're going to disrespect the holiday and what it means and everything about it, then we're not going to teach you a lesson. You're like, you're done. Like you said, he that misdemeanor turns into, like, a felony real quick.
Well, yeah, but his felony, what ultimately does him in, where the karma really is a bitch, I'm totally good with. Like, his death, in my opinion, is the most justifiable because because of what he did. I mean, you know, on an emotional level, the three of us are being parents, and the fact that my wife teaches children with special needs, and my mom has taught that for 40 years. You know, we're all kind of aware of it. Well, people that have consciences are kind of aware of it, but, you know, when you're around it as much as I have been, I'm kind of a little more around it. I mean, the kid dropped the R word in this movie. I was like, holy shit, it's 2007, guys. So he deserved to die just for that. I'm kidding, but not really.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
This director also wrote X-Men Apocalypse, so again, not great, but maybe not his fault. I don't remember if the writing was bad. I just remember the movie was bad.
Sorry, Ivan Ooze.
Yeah. He also wrote King of the Monsters. He did write Godzilla versus Kong, which we had a good time with. And then he's doing Trick or Treat 2 and Hellraiser the TV series.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go. In fact, for IMDb listing for this movie, Trick or Treat 2 is just plot unknown, a sequel to the 2007 film Trick or Treat. No, that's it. That's all we have.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's got that Godzilla movie money, so he's all right.
He can do whatever he wants now.
That's right. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's kind of. So I do have a funny story. I do have a quick funny story, and then we'll get into some more of our show notes here, and then we'll move on. So about 5 minutes before we got on the call here for the show, I go downstairs to get my beverage of choice tonight. It's Kool-Aid tonight in my Mega Man class here, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for something sweet. I just want a little something sweet. You know, Andrew was chomping on some candy a few minutes ago, and so I go into our bin, and we have 3 buckets. We have literally 3 buckets of candy in our pantry, and one is for my wife and I, and then one is for one for each kid, and they have their names on it. And I look in my bucket, and my bucket has just got stuff that I don't want to eat. And then I look in their buckets, and I'm like, they got some stuff in there that I could eat. And I literally am picking up a couple pieces of candy, and then I thought, oh, is this going to anger the Halloween god if I take candy from my children? Yeah, I'm not going to tempt fate tonight. Not tonight. So I put it back. So I didn't have. So my wife looks at me and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I can't tempt fate tonight." And she's like, "Did that movie get to you?" I said, "No, not tonight." So I don't know. So I had no candy tonight, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I actually on candy, like just quick. What was y'all's like as a kid, or even today? Like, what was the one Halloween candy you would hope you get the most on Halloween night trick or treating?
Oh, definitely Reese's.
Reese's?
Yeah, Reese's, or just any full candy bar. Right? It was always those couple houses in the neighborhood that gave away full candy bars. So
I don't know. I mean, I always had a neighbor that gave out a Milky Way, and I was like, ugh. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a Three Musketeers. Milky Way I could sort of handle, but a Three Musketeers is like. It's like Snickers, third cousin removed that was married to the second sister in West Virginia, and that's
a strange place to go. For me, so we had in the neighborhood I lived in. There was 2 houses that would do the full-size candy bars. There was a pizza chain in High Point called Sir Pizza, and they had about 3 stores, and so 3 or 4 stores. So they were pretty wealthy. Wealthy enough to own 4 restaurants. And then the other house, which was across the street, owned. I think he owned like the roller rink and a couple of other like the putt-putt in town, like a couple of those kind of amusement things in town. So we would always hit their houses last. I don't know why, we just did. But they would always give you the full size. And it would be like a full size, like Crunch bars. I love Crunch bars. I like those. Or like a full sized Snickers, or maybe even just a full size Hershey bar, which we would then use to make s'mores with real marshmallows, unlike you psychos.
I'm just saying, don't knock it until you try it.
Now, hold on. You like Crunch bars?
I do.
Like, you're talking like the chocolate-covered crispy rice, right?
Yeah, I do. Why am I getting such animosity towards the Crunch bar?
I've always known that you had no soul, but this kind of, I worry about you now.
Why? What's wrong with the Crunch bar? It's just
everything is wrong with a Crunch bar.
You don't like chocolate?
That's the one that I will throw out. I will like choke down a Three Musketeers, but a Crunch Bar, that's the one that I like toss in the trash.
That's so weird. I don't think I've never ever met anyone that hated that. Usually the hate that most people have is for like Almond Joy because they don't like coconut.
Oh, I love an Almond Joy.
I love
my
an
God,
Almond Joy.
I will eat an Almond Joy any day of the week.
Matt, you're shaking your head. I can't tell. Is that a yes or a no?
No to Almond Joy. The only thing I like
Oh, Matt.
coconut chicken.
You're not old enough to enjoy an Almond Joy yet.
Yeah.
You're not old enough.
Like, I go searching out for Almond Joys.
Oh, I love
Right?
Almond Joy. They're the best.
But now for me, anything Reese's too, honestly.
Yeah.
Reese's Cups. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
no,
also love a good sleeve of Sweet Tarts, though.
Sweet Tarts.
Yeah. Not Smarties, but Sweet Tarts.
Sweet Tarts are
We
pretty
had
good. Yeah.
elderly lady in our church we go to, and she'll have like little Ziploc bags of popcorn she'll give out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We in the neighborhood that I'm in now, there'll be some people that'll have like a popcorn machine, so they'll like scoop it and hand it to you so you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Like they even did that last year during COVID. I mean, they were all gloved up, but they were like, "Here you go." And so, anyway, yeah, all this candy talk is really not making me. Gosh, really hate the crunch. That's funny. I mean, it's not my favorite. I'm just saying I like them. I'm trying to think. My favorite candy bar, like if we have to, because we have vending machines on campus, and so if I'm in the mood to fork over $1.50 for a small-ish candy bar, my go-to is probably going to be Kit Kat. I like a good Kit Kat.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the Crunch Bar's cousin.
It's
as
their
well.
older cousin, yeah.
I would,
but
I would eat it. I love my.
and I like.
But I do eat a Kit Kat, but I dip it in peanut butter.
That's not. No.
Never tried that.
You should try it.
Speaking of trying things, and again, with no, so someone told me you should try this, and I thought they were insane, and I tried it, and I was a believer. Is you take your Oreos before you obviously before you eat them, you take your Oreos and you freeze them, and so it's like almost like an ice cream kind of bar kind of a scenario. So it was pretty good. I mean, Oreos are great either way, so anyway. Moving on from that, if you're listening and are now hungry for snacks, I apologize. I guess.
No, you're not.
I'm not really. Let's see. I did say weird. So the movie does. Sam, you mentioned this earlier about when you think the principal is going to go kill his own son. Because he's. The kid's like, I want to carve the pumpkin. And he's, mocking him in the backyard. I want to carve a pumpkin, Dad. I want to go do the thing, Dad. And then he picks up the knife. And so the movie's doing the thing that I kind of hate when movies do, is when the character is acting out of character just for the benefit of the camera. And because if he was going to go down there and carve the head of this child he had cut off, that was the intention anyway, he would not have grabbed the knife all menacingly and hid it behind him and like all those things that they do to make you think that he's about to kill his kid. But anyway, it's still pretty effective. I mean, it got me the first time. I mean, Sam, it got you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because again, the movie has already established we kill children. So anyway, that kid was annoying.
Which is interesting, because like I said, that is one of the topics to where you have to figure out either to go along with the tone of the movie, because it's such a touchy topic. Like obviously, like you never kill dogs, or some dogs die horribly, but like you never kill the dog, you never kill the kid. But like for example, like that's why I love A Quiet Place. The opening is one, like boom, and then the opening title, you're like, okay, anyone's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You cross that line immediately, and that's like with this one. Like I said, the tone is. She laughs, she feels sorry, but it's the execution I thought was pretty good.
Both literally and figuratively. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're right.
Speaking of killing dogs, we just watched Halloween. Michael Myers kills a dog in that movie. He strangles a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
There are two?
2 dogs. Yeah, there's 2 dogs he kills.
Oh yeah, because the one he sees. You don't see the first one, but they go to the house and there's a dead dog.
There's a dead dog in his old house.
And then the cop's like,
right.
"What happened here?" And he says he got hungry.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I only remember because you see it on camera with him. Well, you don't see him strangling the dog, but you see the dog like the body like relaxes. It's that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The principal can't just be happy with killing children. Now he has to live out a vampire fantasy.
I did not see that one coming, by the way.
I didn't either. I honestly thought he was going to be a legit vampire. I thought, well, I knew that this movie had werewolves. Like, I knew that was happening, so I just assumed that it was a real vampire. And then when it showed to be him, I thought, oh, okay. Because then I started thinking about, like, can a vampire turn a werewolf into a vampire? Like, those are the things I started
Boy,
thinking
they'll talk about OP.
Yeah.
Right?
Or not. I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. Last few things. I didn't finish my note. The principal can't just be happy with killing children. He needs to live out a vampire fantasy by biting young women. He definitely deserved to die. So there you go. Because the two women he killed or tried to kill, Anna Paquin. I don't know how old she was in this movie, but she was not old. I did write poor AV guys. I mean, like
the big equipment you there.
Well, and it's so funny. When I watched it the first time, I thought those girls are going to go kill those guys because no one has ever gone up to the crew and been like, "Hey, we need dates. You guys come with us." Like
right?
That's never happened.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't say entirely that. I do have a story of the guy who was the sound mixer for various projects I'm not going to mention, but he's a legit sound mixer. I was his boom operator. And he met my then girlfriend, now wife, and asked me, he said, you going to marry her? And I said, yeah, probably. And he said, then you need to get out of this industry. And I said, why? And he goes, it cost me a marriage. And I said, oh, because you were gone all the time and, all the hours? He goes, no, I slept with 4 or 5 extras. And I said, oh, well, that kind of sounds like a you problem, not the industry. And I said, why would they sleep with you anyway? He goes, because they were trying to, better their careers. I'm like, you're the sound guy. And he was like, yeah, but they didn't know that. So,
all right, RV.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to besmirch his name by telling you what projects he's been on. But and then my last note was I forgot the old man was the bus driver. So it all comes full circle.
Yeah, first time watch, I thought that was a really great reveal. How they revealed that and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. You guys got any other notes before I play some clips?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm not.
Okay.
But go ahead and play your clips.
You're not good, or you're not done talking?
No, I'm not good because I'm sitting in a folding camping chair because I'm not living at my house right now. So my back feels like it's about to collapse in on itself like a dying star.
Wow.
So I would continue.
Dying star. It's a good visual. I figured you would go with like a dead pumpkin or something, but I'm with you.
Oh.
Here's Leslie Bibb saying things.
What?
Inside. Upstairs.
Babe, let's just take all this crap down. It looks like a crime scene.
I told you I'd do it in the morning.
No, you won't. You're going to sleep until noon, and then you're going to play video games until 4. And besides, my mom is coming in the morning. She'll have an aneurysm if she sees this place.
Really?
Like...
Maybe her mom just really hates Halloween. She had to get it from somewhere.
The 2 parts of that sentence that just cracked me up is that one, she knows that her husband's going to sleep till noon and then play video games till 4, even though he knows that the mom is coming over. So either he's a bad husband, or I don't know. Their marriage is ridiculous. That's all I have to say. Here is one of the many hints that the girls are werewolves.
Open up. No. Open the door or we'll huff and we'll puff. Come on, seriously, open up.
There you go. Huff and puff. Speaking of, so I love this bit of trivia. I didn't catch this. until I went back and when I was capturing clips, I saw it. So you know the scene when the little kids are collecting pumpkins and they open up the woman opens the door and she's super drunk, and in the background there's a dude wearing a hot dog and he's banging some whatever.
Yeah.
That hot dog costume is at the little place where all the girls are in the woods. So
it got around.
Whoever the coach is, he got ed up that night. Is what I'm saying.
Man, we got to get a new principal and a new coach.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I got some openings at Warren Valley, Ohio, Jemison, if you want to go up there.
That place is scary. Don't go anywhere near that place, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And I guess it makes me wonder if, like, the girl he was, as a kid, used the word butt effing. Makes me wonder if it was one of the girls that would eventually take him to the Coven place for the barbecue. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So okay, I mentioned this earlier. This is when little Sam gets a piece of candy from the principal, and as he walks away, he's dragging his bag of candy, and this is the sound it makes. That's supposed to make me laugh, but out of context, it's pretty funny. Oh my gosh!
What did the cat break on Halloween? Like,
yeah, like exactly. Was it just a black cat that Sam was like, I must have this, and carry it around all night? So there you go. Jesus. So bad. I have to admit, and I know I've taken heat for this before, but these are words that I could not agree more with.
Billy, shh, please be quiet.
Why?
Because you'll bother the neighbors. Now go watch Charlie Brown, and I'll be in a minute.
Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Billy, Wilkins. Language.
It's not that Charlie Brown is, it's everybody around him.
I know. You're right. Everybody around him is an asshole.
You're weird about that at the beginning.
That's such a parent moment, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think anybody who has kids has been in that situation where you're like, just shut up. People are gonna look.
Yeah.
You're gonna attract attention.
Well, I mean, my kids, especially my daughter, she has two volumes. It's either so quiet I can't understand her, or drill sergeant yelling, and it's always it's not always bad when she's loud. It's not like she's saying anything inappropriate, but it's like we're out to dinner and we're at the table and the food has come and it's okay. Let's say the blessing, and she's just excited for food, and so she lets the restaurant know that we are praying to God right now. So it's like, Daphne, shh, bring it down, okay? It's like, it's just for us. Here's another little hint that they're werewolves.
She's a big girl. She can take care of herself.
I wish that were true. Mom always said she was the runt of the litter.
For some reason, they listen to like 50s music in the background while they're getting ready to eat people. Andrew mentioned it earlier.
I got an NRA membership in my pocket and a shotgun over the fireplace. So get out of here before I...
There you go. I'm not really sure what one has to do with the other, but it made me kind of chuckle.
Yeah.
So, okay, time for no, not that. Time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Time for some trivia. Okay.
Back trivia.
Yes. I haven't done that in a while. Let's see. Anna Paquin's character Laurie is named after Laurie Strode from 1978 Halloween.
Oh,
yeah.
That just made my night, Sam.
Thank you.
So what the three of us are now chuckling at and Matt is confused about is that, and I'll post this on Twitter and Facebook, is that Sam doing his... Sam is really good at Photoshop, as you all can tell. He's done this before. He has put my face on the face of the dead ginger kid.
Andrew, put your face on Dylan Baker and then Sam's face on the kid.
Hey, there we go.
Okay. Jeez, that's terrifying. Why am I smiling? What picture did you use?
He must have got you right at the right moment.
Yeah. Gosh. Anyway, time for this. Not time for this. The School Bus Massacre Revisited. In the School Bus Massacre Revisited, a 1958 Plymouth Fury from the movie Christine can be seen. An obvious nod to the John Carpenter movie and the Stephen King novel. No. The performers under the masks playing the kids on the school bus all have real disabilities or injuries, and they apparently had a blast during the shoot. Their costumes were inspired by a mix of photos from Ralph, it looks like Meteyard, and Diane Arbus, capturing real mentally disabled children on Halloween in their own homemade costumes.
I don't know what to think about that one.
Well, yeah,
that one seems a little wrong for some reason.
Because of the sequel. At the same time, that's pretty awesome that they casted accurately.
Yeah, no,
right?
I think it's kind of neat.
Exploitation?
No, I don't think it's exploitation. I think it's because it's not like it's not the movies making fun of those kids for their disabilities, or they're not. I don't think that the movie is exploiting the thing. I think it's saying, here are kids in the movie who have some disabilities. We're going to get actual kids who have these disabilities, and they're going to have a good time. And only one of them needs to say a line, and they're gonna. I think it's kind of neat. So, it's. I think it's neat. I think it's more genuine to do what they did than to have a bunch of regular, I'm using air quotes, normal kids, playing like they're disabled. So, I
agree. Yeah.
Okay.
The hold music for the 911 call is a piano cover of John Williams' "Can You Read My Mind" from Superman the movie. Quote, "I don't know how we got the rights to that," Michael Daughtry said. Now, I did learn.
Did they?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there's even, if you watch the end of the credits of the movie, it even says special thanks to John Williams. Like his name is in the credits under music for that.
So maybe it was a quote unquote favor that he did for them, or
it's a cover.
One of those, somebody and he's gonna,
right. But I'm saying like it's
let you use something.
It's a cover, so you pay the artist, the cover artist, and then the cover artist is responsible for giving credit to the original musician. So.
Right.
So by having it be a cover, that's why it's cheap. That's why they can afford it. It's not like they got the London Philharmonic's version of the Superman suite or song, And again, that whole music was like 2.5 seconds. I mean, it was very short. Because I read the trivia before I watched, or while I was watching the movie, which I normally don't do, but I did. And I read that and I thought, I'll listen for it. And it was so short. There's no way you could tell that's what it was. I already mentioned the hot dog man, so that's the last one. Okay, time for Andrew. You got anything else, or forever hold your peace?
I'm holding it.
No,
you just can't see because it's below the camera.
I'm not sure if I want to use that as an intro clip or not.
I would not. Let that be a surprise.
Yes, a nice, fun, wet surprise. Time for this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Time for our top 3. We decided to do masked killers. And I'm using the word killers instead of villains because sometimes heroes are killers too, and they wear masks and they kill bad guys sometimes. So I will let Sam go first.
Oh, wow. I go first this time.
Yeah.
All right. I've just got 3, and I kind of stuck with the villain roles. And my number 3, the first one is The Strangers from Cabin in the Woods, the ones in the creepy doll masks.
Yeah.
One of the plethora of bad guys in that movie. My number 2 is Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs.
Sure.
Although he never really killed anybody in a mask, he just made somebody's face a mask and then had his own. But anyway, my number 1 is Darth Vader in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's a good choice.
Although I would say that you should probably say Rogue One because
Holy cow! Yeah.
As a killing machine, that's the movie that we want to think of as.
Thank God we got that too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we finally saw him in the prime, just massacring. That was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because the only 2 other fight scenes we see with him is, that little kind of dinky thing that he does with Obi-Wan, which the fan-made version of that is so great. That fan version where they did it up really great. Disney needs to find a way to stick that in there somehow. Boy, take that out of context. And then he has and then 2 fight scenes with Luke.
Yeah.
And neither one of them are all that. They're saying they're fine for the time, but what he did was
Rogue One. That was jaw dropping in Rogue One.
Yeah.
It was what we've all wanted to see.
Exactly. Okay. Matt.
I would say number 3, My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
2 would be the Ghostface mask from Scream.
Sure.
And then my number 1 will be Jason, just a hockey mask, taking like a item and make it terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not this movie. This movie's not the face mask. It's you can tell how much I watch Halloween movies or horror movies when I do our promo in the entirely wrong mask for the Halloween movies coming up.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Sam does his really nice art for the Halloween promo for the other podcast, and he sends it to me, and I'm like, "Hey, man, that looks great." And I send it to the other podcast. He goes, "That looks amazing." Except we watched Halloween, and this is Jason's mask.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I sent Sam a message. This is Jason's mask. Not,
we need Michael Myers.
Not Michael Myers. He's like, "Oh, you could tell I do this. You can tell I watch these a lot." So, because I've not seen a single Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Jason movie. I've never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
I've just, yeah.
Those were movies I skipped growing up.
Yeah, me too.
I was petrified. I was a wimp when it came to it. So, yeah.
The one trope that this movie does, because this movie's got a bunch of the horror tropes, but the one horror trope it doesn't do is sex equals death.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you did have the hot dog.
Yeah, but he yeah. I just think that, but usually the trope is that if you're having sex, then the bad guy comes and kills you.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm kind of glad it's not in this movie because I think that would be towards more the horror trope than necessarily what he was trying to get, like the spirit of the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if
I like that, and I didn't know until you mentioned that's what this character is, and it makes me like it even more now because it is. I want Disney to go back and make the Santa Claus 4 with Tim Allen and have all the holiday creatures there or mystical people there and have this guy added to that little cast.
Yeah.
The DreamWorks animation, The Guardians. Rise of the Guardians. Yeah. They need. Yeah. I mean, like Jack Skellington to me is kind of the mascot of the holiday, but because
they're dipping in Christmas with Jack.
I know
because of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, you're totally right. But also, it's not like because that's a character in a movie that's owned by Disney, and they're never going to let that go. He's not going to be in anything else. He can't be in anything else. You know.
I would have to agree with that. I would say, as a specific character on its own, I would say that would probably be the icon of the holiday if we had to pick one.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's where I was when you were mentioning that earlier. I thought Jack would be my first choice.
Yeah.
But again, it's a character from a movie. It's not like all the other ones, the Santa Clauses, the Easter bunnies. Like those have not mythical, but like
it's folklore.
Yeah,
yeah, like
we didn't. Coca-Cola hasn't come up with something for Halloween yet.
Yeah, yeah, because they invented the Easter bunny and Santa Claus and things.
Can you imagine like the Santa Claus Coke stuff with like Jack Skellington, hanging out drinking a Coke.
I like that. I like that image a lot. I'm gonna do my 3. So I had 4. I always have an honorable mention in case one of you mentions one of mine. So I'm actually gonna take Darth Vader out. And insert somebody else. So my number, I'm actually gonna make him my number 1. I like him. He's my number 1. So my number 3 was the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is Guy Fawkes from V from Vendetta.
Okay.
And my number 1 now, instead of Darth Vader, is going to be Judge Dredd from the movie Dredd.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, there you go.
Cool.
Andrew.
Well, I kind of went the other direction. I went with, you guys kind of had mostly villains. I kind of went the hero direction, just to switch things up a little bit. Sure. But the first one, I don't know if it's really a hero or not. Rorschach from The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I have number 2, Batman from Batman Returns. He straps the dynamite to that clown and then throws him down in the.
Oh yeah.
We always say Batman doesn't kill, but that dude was dead.
Well,
I
mean, he kills the Joker.
Yeah.
The Tim Burton Batman kills people.
Yeah. And then my number 1, I had to do it because it's the most awesome character ever invented, is Deadpool.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
With it,
I also had a honorable mention of Maximus in Gladiator.
Yeah.
Which is kind of another hero. So
yeah. Sam, I honestly thought you were going to try to you were going to find a way to put Jurassic Park in. And I was trying to remember if there was a scene. I know in Jurassic World, the raptors have muzzles. And so you could argue that that's a mask. I couldn't remember if the raptor at the beginning of Jurassic Park had a muzzle on or not.
No.
Or if he was
no, because it was eating somebody.
Right, but I couldn't remember if because I knew he was in the cage, and then I couldn't remember if he took the mask, he took the muzzle off and then ate the guy, and he was yelling shooter and all that stuff. Anyway. I was trying to find a way to connect it to Star Trek. Like in the opening scene of Wrath of Khan, Khan is wearing a mask, but then he doesn't wear it for the rest of the movie. So I thought, I'm not going to try to fight on that hill. So anyway, there you go. The time for soundtrack grade. I'm going to start doing this again. Soundtrack grade. I don't remember the soundtrack other than the opening and the ending credits. And it's very horror-ish. It reminds me a lot of something. Crap.
Did you say it's very horror-ish?
No.
Was it Psycho? Because the
Psycho, yes. Yeah. It reminds me of the Psycho, the melody, the da 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 da. Yes, thank you, Psycho. It's good though. It's a good score. I think it's good.
Yes. It blends well. It doesn't overly intrude itself in the scenes.
And again, Sam and we watch the Halloween movies because we're going to be on a podcast whose sole mission is to analyze the film scores of movies. And we watch the Halloween movie, which has one piece of music. Technically 2.
Over. And over.
But they play that
and over.
I had forgotten how much they play that Carpenter piece, that piano pit.
Yeah.
Just so much. It was stuck in my head, for hours afterwards. I had to play something else just to get, anyway. Time
for Sean to cough and mute himself.
Yeah. Awkward Silence is brought to you by Dry Throat. That also can't be taken out of context. Out of 10, here we go. I play this clip here. crap, where is it? Here it is.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give this movie a score from 0 to 10. And I will start with Matt.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
All right.
10.
The man likes it. That's all right.
Nice.
All right. Andrew.
IMDb puts it at a 6.8. I'm going to have to go above that quite a bit. This is something that I want to see again. I feel like now that I know that there's some things that I missed for sure, I want to go back and watch it again, just from our conversation. So, and it's something that I probably will watch, several times. So I'm going to give it let's say a 8. I'll go higher than 7. I'll say an 8.2.
All right. I dig that. By the way, I cheated out a couple of people. I wanted to give mention because on Twitter I did get some response to our top 3. Our good friend Jesse, who was on the show a few weeks ago, said Michael Myers, the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh, okay.
And the Winter Soldier. And Cameron from the Green Shirt podcast, who was on for our Willow and King Arthur movie. He said the Predator, Darth Vader, and Lord Humongous from the Road Warrior movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those two guys. Thanks for doing that. And I have one more shout out, but I'm going to do that a little bit later on the episode. Sam.
Hi.
Your score of out of 10.
Oh, my score. Going into this tonight, I would have been sub 5. I think Andrew and Matt might have kind of convinced me this is maybe worth another look with a better attitude. And especially with the interlocking storylines, maybe I just didn't pay enough attention to. I mean, I realized it was happening, but I wasn't realizing the extent to what it was happening. So I'm going to give it. I'll give it a 6.42 out of 10. But you guys pushed it up at least 2 points, if not more, in my mind.
That's what I can get.
I'm actually kind of with Sam in that point that I
stop it.
I know it's a little weird, but I mean, we have the text messages to prove it. I did not want to watch this movie, and I was a little bit of and Andrew kind of called me out a few weeks ago when we did Suicide Squad, where I was kind of predisposed to not wanting to watch that or not wanting to like that movie, even though I ended up really liking it a lot, just because it has the name DC in front of it. I just assumed it's going to be terrible. I didn't assume that this was going to be bad. I just didn't like it because I didn't like it the first time I saw it. And but this time I watched it, I think I appreciated what the movie is doing and what it is as a movie and the craft and stuff. I still don't really like it that much. I don't think it's particularly entertaining because I don't like these types of things. I don't like these types of movies. I don't usually find joy in the suffering of others, even if they totally deserve it. Except Leslie Bibb. She didn't really deserve it. She's a bad wife, but whatever. Just go upstairs and watch porn.
No, she's a good wife. She just.
Yeah, but anyway, whatever. I spent more time on her than I think I ever meant to. Anyway,
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what her husband said, or didn't get to say because she died. I'm going to give it a 5, just a 5. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't really like it, but it's not bad. It's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. It's a well-made movie. It's a well-made movie. I don't know. My emotions on this are so weird.
It is very, if anything, it's pretty. It is a pretty movie. Yeah. It sounds great. They did well with the, cinematography. The photography aspect of it was gorgeous.
Definitely. And again, and even the werewolves that looked terrible, it didn't bother me. I kind of was just along for the ride at that point. I thought, the werewolf scene, just the werewolf scene alone, that 5 minutes of filmmaking was better than the entire movie of We Summon the Darkness.
Yes. Just completely agree.
Just saying, that movie was terrible.
And real quick, I like to back up someone. I think it was Sam that mentioned it earlier, to where if he watched it with a group of people, he would have liked it more.
Yeah.
And I 100% would agree with that statement, especially, and I could be biased on this when it comes to the horror genre, to where, and for any movie that matters, especially after last year with COVID, where people just marathon movies.
Yeah.
I've listened to many podcasts where they'll watch movies and they realize, movies are better with other people. They feel, yeah. And I think that's something with horror too, to where there's so many B-rated bad horror movies to where they call them sometimes party movies, to where you have a party or hang out with people, you just throw it on in the background. And you look at it once more like what the is this on the TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is literally one of those to where it's almost so festive and Halloween spirited, to where I think if you rewatch it again, watch it during the last week of October or something.
Yeah.
And see how you feel then about it. And that's just my advice to it, because it's not like you're going to watch It's a Wonderful Life in July,
Unless you really need to.
Unless you really need a good pick me up or something.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and your environment can have something to do with it too. I mean, I know Andrew, mentioned that he was watching this while he was cooking dinner, but he's in a house by himself, kind of at night. You're kind of in the right, frame of mind. I have to watch these movies either during my lunch break at work or in my office, because I have to pull clips and have to take notes. So I mean, it's not like I can get in the fully right frame of mood or mind where I can watch it on a TV and be under a blanket with all the lights off. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really get the full experience because of the show.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do, but then there's other times.
I lit a candle and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, there's some movies, like when I watched Train to Busan, I knew that movie was going to kind of freak me out a little bit, so I made sure that I was in a well-lit room. Just be honest. I knew that movie was going to get me a couple of jump scares.
Hey, have a box of tissues too, whoever's listening. Watch that.
Absolutely.
Train to Busan, man. That
unexpected box.
Oh, yeah.
So good. It was so good. I had no idea how good that was going to be. We were all just blown away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Best, I mean, I don't know. It might be my favorite zombie movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Anyway. My score's a 5. There you go. I said that. Time for the last thing on our list is the quote game. So I'm going to say...
That's gross.
There you go. Thanks, Steve Rogers. This quote, again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is the quote game. For you listening at home, this is for you to participate. I say the quote, if you message me on Twitter, or you message me on Facebook, or you send an email to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com with the movie and character who says the line, I will pick a winner and mail you some stickers. And I just got some brand new stickers, and Sam and I, and Andrew, and I are in the process of designing some new merch. We're going to have merch soon, guys. Seriously, merch. I'm excited. This is cool. I'm very excited for this. After 7 years,
but we're not allowed to wear our own merch.
I actually fought to call it swag, but I was overruled.
Hey,
won the merch like an actual chair, a seat.
Yeah, we actually
that would be awesome.
We went to the local restore and
yeah,
found a brown chair.
Yep.
We'll drop it off on your porch. Yeah.
There was a sign out front that said "free" on the yard.
Yep.
It's been there through a few rainstorms, but it's still, you can still sit on it.
Pretty sure mice are living inside of it. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, this is the quote game. So here you go. Wanting people to listen, you can't just tap them on the shoulder anymore. You have to hit them with a sledgehammer, and then you'll notice you've got their strict attention.
Ooh, I don't know this one.
I don't know that one.
I didn't know it either, but I do now because I looked it up by accident. So anyway, I know that sounds weird, but I know what it is, but I would never have known it. But I've only seen that movie once. So if you know what it is, feel free. It's a horror film, I think. I think it can
Eyes Wide Shut.
In the genre. No, It's not Eyes Wide Shut. I don't think that's a horror.
Vanilla Sky.
Again, no. Tom Cruise is not anywhere near this movie.
I think you said
you said horror. I just figured.
Yeah. That's it. Matt, thank you so much for coming on. And this was a lot of fun. And I don't think we really said this before. Matt was a student of Andrew's some time ago. And
Don't say how long.
80s.
But Matt also is a cinematographer. You work in the camera and grip electrical department on some projects. If you are willing and able to, if Marvel will let you, tell us what you're working on.
Well, at the moment it's not Marvel, unfortunately, but I earlier this year did reshoots on Loki, then worked on Hawkeye for a few months, which will come out in November on Disney Plus, and then She-Hulk on and off. But right now we just started work on a show called The Game, which will debut on Paramount Plus when it comes out.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah.
Is that anything like the movie The Game?
No, it's actually a reboot of another show called The Game, which was, I think, 2006 through 2015. It's like a sports drama about NFL players and the women they date.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then also do indie projects on the side. So we actually just got done shooting a Christmas comedy horror movie called Were Deer.
Nice. That sounds amazing.
Hopefully we'll see some of that advertised in the near future.
Well, I'll say if they're ever streaming, let us know, and we'll have you back on, and we'll talk about it and get
for sure. Yeah,
insight for sure.
Yeah, will do.
So I have to ask the question that I don't know if anybody else wants to ask, but I'm going to ask. So when you were doing Hawkeye, so that means you were there with Jeremy Renner. Is he like? You're making a face.
Not necessarily.
Were you B or like?
No, I was rigging. I'm mostly doing rigging crew, so we're there rigging the sets, getting everything set up, and sometimes we're leaving as the first unit crew comes in. Sometimes I'll do first unit when we're filming, but no, normally rigging is there to rig before they show up to film, and we did rig after they film. I did see Tom Hiddleston though on Loki.
Oh, Loki, yeah.
Yeah, briefly. So
I loved Loki. That was an amazing series. That was so much fun.
Well, especially with Marvel too, is to where they're the last ones to show up. They're in and out just like that, obviously, for obvious reasons. So if you're not there to see them, you're probably not going to see them.
Huh.
Top secret. So many NDAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want people hearing what the script. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, they don't.
Yeah. What wasn't it? Owen Wilson, didn't he get a strike one message, a text message when he mentioned he was wearing a mustache in the show?
Yeah, they actually said something about they would explode the chip in the back of his neck if he did it again.
Just like Suicide Squad, they got that.
Yeah,
yeah. All the Marvel folks.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because so we just had the since we recorded this episode, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer has dropped, and and of course the it was leaked earlier that day, and somebody probably getting sued over that, and Sony was doing the best they can to remove it from the internet as best they can.
It was like a bad bootleg too.
There was no VFX or nothing. I mean, it looked. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be perpetuating the whatever, because I knew that the real trailer was going to happen pretty soon, and then it dropped literally that afternoon.
It dropped on 8/23, right?
Yeah.
Go back and watch WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision. They make reference to that. So.
And they make reference to 8/23.
Yeah, it's like circled on a calendar. So one of the other podcasts I listened to, they brought that up, and the guy that's like the insider, they're like, "Is that a thing?" And he's like, "Honestly, I think it's just pure coincidence." And like really, there
is no such thing in Marvel.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a thing that Marvel would do a coincidence on. He's like, "Yeah, that's probably like the production manager's birthday or something." So.
That's the thing about working in this industry too, to where as much as they keep the story and the script secret, like when you're working on a stage or a set, you're like, okay, so this is the Sanctum Doctor Strange. Like, we know he's going to be in this movie now. So it's like, all right, that's like, so sometimes it kind of sucks. So I try to work and I try not to look into it too much. Just try, okay, this is going to be in this movie, but that's all I want to know. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure you don't want to be. You're probably a fan, right? You're a fan too. You don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think like when Infinity War was released or Endgame, I think Robert Downey Jr. was the only actor to have the actual full real script. Like even the other actors only got like either their parts or fake scenes or something.
Wow. Yeah, I've never really thought about it that way, but I guess people that work in the industry, they don't. You don't. It's not a full surprise to you.
Oh, especially the camera guys, because they're right there in front of them.
Right. Yeah.
And they see it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd still be that like so they filmed Iron Man 3 here in Wilmington. I say here, it's a couple hours east of where I am, but they filmed most of it in Wilmington. And I had a couple of friends that were on that set, and I was literally texting them like, how can you get me on set for just a day? Yeah. You know, I'll be a PA. I can be a grip, like whatever you need. I just want to be on set. And both of them were like, hey, man, I can't. You know, it's Marvel, man. I can't. And I'm like, I just, I can be craft services assistant. Like, what do you need me to do, man? And they're like, we can't. So,
I can take out the trash, man.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. I just want to be on set. I'm not saying I want to meet Robert Downey Jr. I just want to be on a set. Just to see it, like just to experience it. That's kind of a bucket list thing, and I think I missed my opportunity. That's okay.
Hey man, you're still young.
Thank you for saying that. That's a lie, but I appreciate you saying that.
He didn't say it about Sam.
No, he can't see Sam. He has no idea that Sam is.
No, I exist in a time before video.
Well, I've seriously had a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for bringing me on and everything, and I'd love to do it again down the road if you have me back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's been a blast.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah. So before I completely wrap us out, I just want to give one big shout out. I don't really do shout outs very often on the show other than to people that are physically here or participate. But I want to give a shout out to a good, she's a listener. She's a fan. Her name is Rosie. I met Rosie through the Sudden But Inevitable podcast. She's a brown coat. She is a Firefly fan, true and true. She is such a big fan of Firefly. She was able to, when the show was on and they had the message boards, she was able to use her kind of context for the message board. She's in the movie Serenity. She is in the movie as an extra. And through her contacts, the guys over at Sudden But Inevitable were able to interview Adam Baldwin. From Serenity and Firefly. So Rosie messages me today on Twitter and says, hey, I really like your movies. I really like your show. And I really, really need you to review episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars because you've done 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9. I need you to finish the series. It's driving me crazy. And I'm like, you know what? We weren't planning on doing it, but because you asked, I will absolutely do it. We were absolutely due because you asked, and she's a listener, and she's amazing. So, Rosie, thank you so much for listening. I don't know if she's going to listen to this episode. I'm gonna tell her that I'm giving her the shout out, so she'll listen. But
and then she'll have to wait till the entire episode. She'll wait 2 hours into this thing and then be like, "Oh, there I am."
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, right? And I said, I also asked her to give me a list of movies that she would like us to do. So I have a nice long list of movies that she wants us to cover. So we've got some stuff going forward. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Sam or Andrew about this at all, but I would think that before Christmas, we're going to find a way to do episodes 4, 5, and 6. Because she wants us to, and that's what matters. So be like Rosie and send me a message and request stuff, and we will do it because we want to do movies that you want us to do. That's kind of the way this works.
Well, you're definitely getting more requests from me, that's for sure.
Awesome.
Sorry, your mic cracked out. Did you say we won't be getting more requests from you, or we will be getting more?
After this, I'm done. So no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man.
Sure, yeah, because I'm gonna go listen to more. But the two I listened to before tonight was UHF and The Conjuring.
Oh, nice.
The Conjuring was.
I remember hearing from you, Sean, that the horror was your least favorite genre. So I was curious about tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
but
fine.
The Conjuring.
That was a good
scary.
scary movie too.
That's so good.
That's okay, Matt. Andrew's wife put in a request years ago, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember we all hated it so much. And
yeah,
do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was the.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast, or no?
No.
It wasn't that one.
It was about. Oh gosh, I had it in my head and I can't think of it.
It
was about the girl that. It was an axe.
Final Girl.
Final Girl.
Was it Final Girl?
Was it?
No.
No. Oh, gosh, dang it.
I can't remember now. It was bad.
Yeah, there's got to be a way I can look back at. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. No, the I'm trying to think. The one that you're thinking of, Sam, the Curse of Sleeping Beauty. That was a coworker of mine back when I was at the university.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. She made us watch that terrible movie. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Final Girl. Yeah.
Final Girl. Nice.
All right. Abigail Breslin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad movie.
It is.
Go, Matt. You should go watch it.
Yeah, not yet actually.
Do what?
I haven't seen that one yet actually. So.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible.
According to us, it's a bad movie. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe people like it.
I'm sure Abigail loves it, but I don't think it's just. I don't know. Go listen to our review, episode 126, Final Girl.
6. Will do.
126. That was a long time ago. Just for some context on our part, we gave it a score of 2.61.
Is that an average?
Yeah, that's our average. Andrew gave it a 2.5. I think Corny would have been our fourth. He gave it a 5.5. Sam gave it a 0.1.
Oh, yeah.
And I gave it a 2.3. So, 2.61. Anyway, there you go. All right, it's time to stop recording because I'm going to run out of tape. This is thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. We're on Good Pods now. Also, if that's how you want to listen to us, that's fine. There are just way too many ways to listen to podcasts right now. iTunes, I think, is still kind of the biggest and the best. Leave us a review there. That'll be great. Also, congratulations, guys. According to Chartable.com, we are the 10,000th, exactly the 10,000th best podcast in the world. So,
woohoo!
And they said we'd never make it.
I thought that was kind of cool, just the fact that it was exactly 10,000th.
We are so close to being in the 4 digits.
I mean, like, yeah. I just thought it was. I mean, there are millions
We're right
of
up
podcasts.
there with Dak Shepard.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
There are so many podcasts out there. The fact that we're the 10,000th is actually kind of neat. That we're even charting. That's actually kind of neat. So congratulations to the three of us. I think all that really means is that we've been doing this a long time. I think that's kind of, again, quantity over quality. That's our motto.
There we go.
Speaking of all those old episodes, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com is how you can find them. Go back and listen to all 359 episodes. Facebook.com/cheapseatreviews, @cheapseatcast is our Twitter. We're on Instagram as well. I occasionally post that stuff there. Matt, do you want people to know your social media stuff or no? Totally up to you.
No, that's fine. I really don't have much of a social media.
All right, well, go do search for Matt Kiser on IMDb and be jealous of all the cool things that he works on.
I do have that, and then if they want to follow me on Instagram, at least I don't remember my Instagram. MAKaiser75.
There you go. So go do that. Go do those things. Help him out. Get them follows up. That's gonna do it for the show. On behalf of Andrew, is there anything I'm missing? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Is there anything?
Nope.
Andrew, you did do the read, right?
You want me to do it again?
Yeah. Tell us what was this movie we just talked about for 2 hours. On behalf of Andrew, Matt, and Sean, this is Andrew, Matt, and Sam. This is Sean saying thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
This Cheapseat Reviews.